What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the All Pro Jocos, where we bring you the highly elevated sports talk with highly elevated sports fan. I am your host, JP, and alongside me, as always, the best DJ in the entire country, Mr. DJ Matchsticks.
What's up, folks?
We got the 6'10 beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K.
Konnichiwa, people.
And the wonderful guest that we have with us today. We've been looking forward to talking with her for a little while now. The founder and the CEO of Gunner Sports, which brings you the Bay Area Cali Classic High School All-Star Game. Ladies and gentlemen of the Jaffa Army, please welcome Miss Leslie Jackson. Hello, Leslie. Thank you for joining us today.
We ain't got no sound effects, but I'll make you.
Where's the, the crowd?
I know, right?
He's at work.
We'll get the production done.
He's at work. The DJ normally
I'm not on location yet.
Don't tell me I got the budget show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I will freely admit that right now. But hey, we are going to be building and we're growing, and that's perfectly fine. But Leslie, again, thank you again for joining us today. You have a very interesting story that we wanted to tap into, that we wanted our listeners and our viewers to be able to pay attention to and listen to as well. We've talked to a bunch of people. We've talked to Coach Zoe. We've talked to countless other people who have given us their story and what they're doing, especially helping around the community. And your story pops out because it's not just the All-Star game. You're literally helping kids get to the next level with the recruitment process and everything else like that. So first of all, how did Gunner Sports, where did it, well, I know you had a master's in sports management and collegiate athletics over at USF. So
Yes.
How did Gunner Sports happen? How did everything kind of come to be and get set in place for where it is now?
Yes, absolutely. So got to take you back to, let's see, my son in high school actually graduated in 2017. So probably his sophomore year. He'd been playing basketball up until his sophomore year. And when he got to high school, it's like he was tall, but he wasn't that tall. So he decided to go out for football, and he had never played. So I was actually surprised that he was so good. He actually made, in fact, this is his outstanding offense and defensive player, his JV year. I'm so proud of Jordan. Like, he's like just out the gate learning football, and he was balling at tight end and defensive end. So doing
Tight
very
end?
well for himself. Yes, exactly. So the coach at the time, I'm not going to say his name, but he basically had a parent meeting, and he sat us down and he said, listen, I don't have time to do recruiting. I don't have time to be calling coaches back. I'm here to coach. You guys are on your own. And we looked at each other like, what? So for me, knowing my history, knowing that I will probably be paying college tuition debt until I die, I knew that there was an opportunity for Jordan to play at the next level and possibly get either a full ride or a partial scholarship. So I really wanted to figure it out and help him with that process. That's when I decided, okay, let me get my master's in sports management because I am clueless. I love the game of football, love it. Like I've been a diehard 49er fan since I can't even tell you, growing up in the Bay, and diehard. And I actually prefer to go to the game by myself so I can listen to it on KMBR in my ears. That's how much of a diehard I am. So fast forward, got my master's in sports management, and I started really understanding the recruiting process. And next thing you know, I had other parents coming to me asking me to help them. Can you help my son? He needs some offers. And I found out about the eligibility center. I found out about huddle and how that needed to flow, and even the character piece. And let's not forget social media. When I was their age, there was no social media, there was no huddle. I saw athletes putting these videotapes in these packets and mailing them off to coaches and waiting, hoping that the coach even got it and opened it and looked at it. But then you had to call and follow up to see, hey, did you watch it? And it's like, how many tapes are coming in? How is your tape standing out? So they actually really have this great tool in huddle that they can use. So learned everything I could. Next thing you know, I had like 20, 30 athletes that I was helping. And I was like, I've got to put a platform together or something. Like, how can I showcase these athletes so that college coaches know who they are and what they can do on the field? So I put together the game. I actually, at the time when I first started, I invited one of his coaches to join me in that process to put the game together. And the rest is history. It's like, this is actually the 6th annual game coming up. By the time I was done with my son's recruiting, personally, he had Hawaii, West Point, Air Force, really good solid offers, Holy Cross, really great educations. And he ended up taking a full ride to Holy Cross. Shout out to Coach Chesney and his team. Excellent coaching staff, great education. So yeah, it worked out really well. And, my passion is really to do the same thing for other student athletes. Like, I love the game already. Let me help you get to the next level. Not everybody's going to the Pac-12 or to play for, Nick Saban and the SEC. Like, there are other ways to get to college and get your education paid for, either full ride or partial. Lower level Division I's, D2, 3, NAIA, JUCO. There are other ways to get there. So I really wanted to kind of help with that process. And that is really what this game is about. This game is about the under the radar talent. Everyone knows when they're a 5-star athlete. If you know who the 5-star athletes are, right. The rankings come out, who they are. But what about the under the radar talent that can definitely play at the next level, but can use some more looks? And that's what this game is for.
I mean, especially when you talk about the lower JUCO levels, myself and Country K played over at San Jose City College over there in 2010 under Swanee and Coach Connor and everybody over there. So and that was one of the questions that I always had is, especially when I was in high school, it was always, one of those D1 or bust. Nobody really talked about, going D2 or D3 or even going to I really didn't even know about JUCO ball until I was called by Coach Swanee a little bit or a couple of months after my senior year ended. So it was just, and then going through it, how do more athletes not know about this or know to even go and do this? Most of them or at least that I knew, some of them were kind of bounced backs. We played against guys over at the City College of San Francisco who had pretty much nothing but D1 bounce backs on their team. Yeah, it just going through that whole program, and now your platform is showing even more, hey, there's more outlets that you can go. I'm sure that that question leads to me, how many universities, how many JUCOs, how many schools, I should say, are basically pipelining your program? And if they're not, why aren't they? Because if you're looking at, if you're looking at basically all the athletes, especially in the Bay Area and the Valley, obviously not everybody gets exposed, but your program is helping those kids get exposed. So how many schools use you as a pipeline for their recruitment?
The number is, you mean high schools or colleges?
Both.
So we pretty much have the support of all the Bay Area schools. I can't think of one high school. By the way, you have to be nominated by your coach or your athletic trainer to participate in the game. That's a really important piece. We've got nominations coming in from all over the Bay, all the way down to Vacaville, all the way out to Marin, down the peninsula, obviously all of the city, down the peninsula, even Pacifica, Terra Nova. I actually just got, this is my first nomination from Salinas. That's pretty far, you know? So I think in the future, I might need to do something, we might need to do something where we put together a game that's maybe 2 games so we can accommodate and make it more convenient for the schools that are kind of farther out. But as far as colleges, I actually go out to the college coaches convention every year. So I'm making those connections. You'll see me at the convention. You'll see me at the Glacier clinics. You know, it's like, to me, that's the most important piece, is making those connections, networking with those coaches, and being able to find out, like, what does your board look like? You know, obviously with COVID, that just happened, you know, now a lot of kids are coming back for this 5th year. So their boards are actually, you know, there's limited availability now because kids are coming back for an extra year. So really kind of being able to understand what the opportunities are. And JUCO, you know, speaking of JUCO, shout out to Coach Rush, because he's one of my mentors for years. Like, he's why I love the game, you know, going up, watching City College games when I was younger, just watching how he leads, and he and Coach Hayes, like, I have a new level of appreciation for the game. And obviously he gets the kids out, and there are so many great JUCO programs. Coach O over at CC, Butte College, Coach Marcus out in Santa Rosa JC, City, obviously, Coach Brandon there. And, you know, they're great programs. Sometimes an athlete needs a little more time. You know, it's like they have the athleticism, but the grades, maybe they can't get out just yet. So maybe they need a little more time. And sometimes it's an opportunity where, you know, okay, well, let's get them out of the environment that they're in. You know, I actually grew up, before I came up to the Bay, I was in Santa Barbara. And I remember Santa Barbara Junior College. It's like, who wouldn't want to be down in Santa Barbara playing football? You know, it's like, it's a JC, but still, you know, maybe some dorm opportunities there. You're getting out of the environment that maybe possibly was bringing you down a little bit. So you got to appreciate the JUCOs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when we talk the Bay Area Cali Classic. So you come up with Gunner Sports, you're helping kids with recruitment. What started the idea for creating the game? So the game, you know, I needed some type of a platform for the kids to be able to showcase themselves at the end of and after their seasons were over. So it just kind of made sense after the playoffs are done, that last big performance. And honestly, back in the day, I don't know if you all remember this. Are you guys from the Bay Area? Me from San Jose,
Okay.
Kay from Florida, and Matt Six over here from SAC.
Okay, so do you
I'm
guys
actually
remember
from the Bay Area? Let's get that right.
Sorry.
And you're from Texas. Like, what are you doing?
But I've been in San Jose. I've been in San Jose since I was 9 years old. So I tell people that, you know, yeah, I'm born in Texas, but yes, I was raised over here in San Jose. But the All-Star game, the only one that I can think of is the one that was held at San Jose State every year.
Well, I was thinking of the East-West Shrine game.
That one as well, yes.
I used to catch the bus, but it was actually at Stanford. Well, a couple times it was at Stanford. They probably moved it around, but I used to catch the bus to the East-West Shrine game. It was like the top elite high school seniors. Remember that?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that? And I missed, you know, it's like I wanted there to be that excitement still for the athletes that, you know, deserve this notoriety and, you know, have showcase themselves throughout the year and really could use, you know, some additional acknowledgement. And that's that to me was what I was trying to do with the game.
So, and then 6 years running, you guys obviously you have a good foundation for the game.
Mhm.
How many athletes would you say, I guess per year per game on both sides would you have for each game?
So there's about 40. I'm looking at the big board right now. We do about 48 athletes on each team. Oh, I need to mention this. So historically, when we first started doing the game, it was really Bay Area versus Bay Area, Bay Area athletes versus Bay Area, because there's plenty of Bay Area talent. But I started getting calls from the Valley, Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, and they're like, hey, we've got talent out here too. So that's when I decided to kind of break it up and do the Bay versus the Valley. That was the last game that we had. The 5th annual game was the first Bay Area versus the Valley. The Valley team whooped on the Bay so bad. It was like 33 to like 10 or something. I couldn't believe it. So this is really a rematch. But we do have about 48 to 49 athletes on each side every year. Yeah, I live stream the game. That's another thing. The D1 coaches, they can't come in person per the NC2A guidelines. So you really have to kind of be creative and create a situation where they can still watch it and tune in. So I live stream the game every year. I also have a great videographer. He's phenomenal. When you get a chance, go on the YouTube, Gunner Sportz. Please follow us on Gunner Sportz on YouTube. And you can see that game footage from last year. He does such an amazing job. I felt like I was on the field. Like, sometimes you hire a videographer and it's like so grainy and far away. No, he's the best. I'm not even going to tell you who he is because I don't need him to have any conflicts with it. He's that good. He's that good. But yes, and coaches, they look forward to that. They're calling me before the game and they're asking me, Miss Jackson, can you send me the link for the game? Division I coaches. So so far it's worked out. Personally, I would love to have a spot on TV. It's during the holidays. Why not? Why can't I get a spot somewhere, whether it's there are networks. Sometimes I turn to some of these networks and there's nothing on. It's just a black screen. And I'm like, there's an opportunity right there for me. I could have the game, I would pay. But I'd love to have it like in people's homes on TV so it can be even more convenient for them. Because a lot of times you run into situations where people have families that are far away and they can't make it out to the game. Some of our Samoan athletes, their folks are in American Samoa and they want to tune in too. So how great would it be if they could actually watch it on TV? But they can tune in from their laptops for now until I do that.
Well, we can definitely see that happening, especially at this point. Basically in your 5th year running the game, it's already turned into, the Bay versus the Valley, which is huge landscape. That's a big area to cover. And when you yourself, I'm sure you're at countless high school games. I'm sure you've got people at different spots because obviously you can't be everywhere at one time as much as I'm sure you would love to be. How many games are you guys covering? Like let's just say on an average, how many games per year per season would you guys be going to
every Friday night light? Yeah, every Friday night lights, we try to map out what games we're going to be at. Like I know Friday I'll be at De La Salle, Pittsburgh. That's a huge game. I'm so excited. And I try to split it up where I'm there half for the first half and then I'll go to a game the second half. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was at the St. Mary's game against Lincoln. I spent the first half there, got a chance to talk to Coach Frank over at St. Mary's Stockton, the new coach at Lincoln. Got a chance to say hi to him and introduce myself. And then at the half, I actually went over to watch Coach Carr in action, Mountain House. He's building this new program and they ended up winning against Lathrop. So I got to see that, but it's kind of hard because it's like, I wanted to go to the Mountain House game, But at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm texting my folks and I'm like, what's the score over there? What's the score at Lincoln, you know?
Jabari has definitely done some good. We've had the pleasure of talking with Jabari. I've known him and his brother Amari since their Oak Grove days. Played against him, played with his twin brother Amari over at San Jose City, while Jabari was over at State. So seeing what he's done over there at Mountain House, I mean, we knew he would be able to do it. It's just a matter of how long it was going to take him. And yeah. I mean, he's done so much for that school. I can't give nothing but props to Jabari. That you mentioned him, it's just like, yeah, that guy's doing some really good things down there over at that high school.
Yes, it's so impressive. I mean, he just changed the culture. You could even feel it. You felt it from the stands. I mean, the stands were packed with parents and kids, but you felt the camaraderie on the field. And I'm just so glad I got to be there that night for that. I also got to meet the Lathrop coach, which I had never met before. And I'm so happy that I did, because he actually just sent over a couple linemen a few days ago for us. So yeah, see, it's all about networking. It's all about, introducing yourself. It's, listen, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Like, as a woman, this is such a hard industry to break into. It's like, you have to earn your respect, because they're like, what the heck does she know? And I like to watch the game from the field. I like to be on the field. So first I have to deal with, excuse me, ma'am, can we help you? And it's like, if I was a man in my Gunner Sports jacket, and it's like, and I'm coming on the field, they wouldn't even question me. They just wave me by. But because here I am, this woman, now they want to question why. And then of course they're fine once I tell them why I'm there and who I am, but it's a drag. So it's like, you really have to earn your respect. You have to show up. I can't be cutesy cute on the field. Like, I've got to be looking like I belong and conservative, and at the same time not drawing too much attention to myself, so it's a very fine line. It really is. But I so far I haven't had any issues. I feel like I've kind of gained some respect throughout the industry.
That was actually going to be my question to you, is how is it being like a woman, getting in there, like the things you have to deal with, especially being a woman of color at that, and going into sports and stuff. Yeah, I know it got to be.
It's funny. When I was growing up, I actually wanted to be the next Jane Kennedy. Do you guys remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They probably don't, but I do.
I can't say
that. I do. Come on now.
Come on, do you? Everybody, raise your hand if you remember Jane Kennedy.
I can't say that I do.
What, Josh? You have to Google her. She was beautiful.
He hates research. He hates research and history. Those are the two things Josh hates.
That is the biggest lie to the Niners.
If it's not pertaining to the Niners or the Longhorns, he hates history and research. I'll tell you that now.
That is the biggest lie. You can go back to every single show and that's bullshit.
And every single show, you'll have some random Niners stat. Yeah, like when the Niners switch out like 4 running backs, we'll win the game. Like we'll get 100+ yards. It'll be 75 yards distributed between all 4 running backs. It's like, who pays attention to that, Josh?
I'm just letting you know, Leslie, they are some of the biggest liars on this. Oh, biggest. They will do anything in their power to make
everybody likes salt on their food, man. Everybody likes a little seasoning in the story. But there's some truth to this lie. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's some truth.
Not the not liking history part.
Well, I gotta give it to Josh, because you know what? He took the time. You see that he knew I got my master's in sports management from USF. He knew my title and my role, and he knew this was the 6th annual game. He did a little research. High five, Josh.
See, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it.
But you have to Google. You have to Google Jane Kennedy, though.
I just looked at her right now, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So what happened with Jane Kennedy? She was like she still is beautiful, I'm sure. Drop dead gorgeous, was in the sports industry. And if I understand this correctly, she got questioned a little bit about some football stuff, and she couldn't really kind of speak to it. She didn't do a good job of answering some questions, and basically she kind of lost her position. So it's really important. I gotta tell you, I just had chalk talk last night with one of my coaches, Coach Fred over at Balboa. He's awesome, Fred Velasquez. I was like, can we look at some X's and O's? Because I had questions. It's like, I wanted to know, I've got to talk to the coaches on both teams this year about the rules, to make sure that we have an exciting game, but also that we're protecting the quarterback, we're protecting the kids from getting injured. And at the third piece of that is making sure that we're showcasing, the schemes that these college coaches want to see. So I had questions about X's and O's, and I'm not even kidding. We were on the phone for 2 hours. He's like, okay, I'm going to pull out the jump board. Like, we were on like a go-to meeting for 2 hours looking at X's and O's. And I was like, is this a chalk talk? Like, but I want to understand, like, I want to be able to speak, informatively about the game, especially when I'm talking to the coaches and kind of identifying what those rules need to be. It's tough.
I mean, at any level for really anybody, chalk talk, I mean, anybody outside of the realm of football will look at that and go, I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But then the fact that you're literally putting all the effort to actually make it known, and not even to make it seem, because you know what you're talking about. And but you're still learning, you're still wanting to learn more. You're still that in itself should gain the utmost respect from anybody, at any level for any position. So the fact that it's just you're coming in here, breaking barriers, I mean, for sure. Because forgive me, I guess, case or I'm not doing enough research, but I don't really know a whole lot of people or a whole lot of women who are in the position you're in being a CEO of a company or founder or CEO of a company that's helping getting these kids out to recruiting. I'm sure if there are, I apologize. I don't know of any.
Well, I hope there, and I hope that I'm paving the way for others. I welcome if anyone wants to help. I'm always looking for team members to help out with the recruiting piece, with, all of it, identifying talent, with, just the networking. I wish that ideally I could have like an all-female staff one day, but we'll see.
All right.
The door is open.
Well, I got a 2-part question. All right. Okay. So since you help with the recruiting process and all that jazz, are you guys, your company Gunner Sports, do you guys still help from JC to 4-year as well as high school? Okay.
I actually want to. I'm not going to give you my idea that I have because I don't want anyone to steal it, but yeah, I want to, because there's talent there too.
Okay.
At the JUCO level, and that's an opportunity to help them get out. So absolutely. Any kids in general, student athletes rather, an opportunity for them to get their education for free, even partially paid for. To me, it just makes for a better quality of life. Who wants to graduate and, have, student loans coming out of your first couple paychecks,
Yeah.
You just want to just start your new career, whatever that is, or if you're going on to the NFL, whatever that is, you want to be debt free and focus on your passion. What is your passion? And I wish I would have done something differently, but yeah, I'll be paying student loans for a while.
I hear that. And then my second part of my question is, do you think you guys are going to expand one day? Not saying next year or the next couple of years, but do you guys think you're going to expand to all over California, or even try to be the number one all-star game for the United States, like how they have the Army games,
Yeah,
the
Under
Under Armour
Armour.
games now. They had
Yes.
before it was Nike and all of that, because I mean, I know a lot of players because I went to Lakeland High School in Florida. That's where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I mean, you already know.
Was that a powerhouse?
Yeah, we came, my high school came out here in 2009 and played De La Salle.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
You guys were good.
Yeah, no, they're still pretty good. And then the coach is legendary, Bill Castle. So that's why I asked that question, because I mean, I feel like that's a lane. Like if you're because I see, like, I personally wasn't involved in that because I was young and ignorant, but at the same time, I see a lot of kids that have a lot of talent that don't get that nod from like Under Armour or these other places. And based on how you've been speaking, I feel like that would probably be a good lane, you know what I mean, for them. So I was back to my question. Do you feel like you guys will expand to that point?
I do, actually, because I get calls all the time from kids out of state, wanting to come play in the game. Actually, last year we had an athlete, Davidson. He was from New Jersey. Now, the reason I let him play in the game, quarterback, lefty, baller. And the reason I let him play in the game, though, was because he was from Walnut Creek, but his parents, like his dad, had to relocate for work. So he ended up moving to New Jersey, but he wanted to play in the game and he was good. And you know what? I like when athletes reach out and they kind of have some gumption and they're like, hey, can I nominate myself? Can I send you my film? It's like, that's what it's all about. When you're able to speak up and sell yourself, I have to look at that. So of course I reached out to his coach, and his old coach in Walnut Creek, his new coach out in New Jersey, and we put it together and made it happen. But absolutely, I could see this, like I said, Texas, Washington. I've got, even down to Southern California reaching out like, hey, we want to get some kids in your game. And I could even see it being hosted at a stadium. I mean, we have thousands of people that come to the game. I couldn't believe how long the line was. As a matter of fact, I actually have some drone footage, so I'm going to put together like a little commercial type thing with my graphic artist. But I couldn't believe the line was wrapping around and the game had already started. So we got to work on that. We got to have more windows open this year and all the above. But when I tell you, people come from far and near to watch the game. So it's a great turnout. I definitely need to expand.
So cool.
Definitely.
It's gonna happen because again, you see how far you guys have come in the short time so far. Again, first 5 years, just the Bay. Now it's the Valley. Eventually, I can see it turning into the whole state, like Kay said. It ending up turning into a North versus South type of thing, and then expanding, just slowly going further and further. Because again, like Kay said, when you're looking at the Under Armour game, the Army game, really, when you're looking at those games, nationally televised high school games, those are mostly like the 4 or 5 star athletes. Those are the kids who are really getting the full exposure from that. So having another outlet for these kids who, there's been plenty of NFL superstars who were not 4 or 5 star athletes coming out of high school. So to be able to have more exposure for these types of athletes who just don't happen to fit a 4 or 5 star rating, but still have all the talent in the world. I mean, the sky's the limit for you guys, really. Really, eventually it's going to be national. I promise you that. I can see that already right now. It's going to be national. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. Because what you guys are doing for these kids is beyond. Shit. For me, I kind of wish I had and I mean, I wasn't 4 or 5 star athlete coming out of high school. I wish I would have had another outlet to be able to go to. Hey, how do I get film done? How do I, send this out? Who do I need to talk to? That would have been a great outlet. But I mean, at least I know now, future wise, I know when my kids grow up, they're going to have an outlet and I'm going to have somebody to be able to go to
Yes.
get them to that next level. So the more people that see that, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to realize you already have a big backing as it is.
Thank you.
It's just nothing short of incredible what you're doing right now in the short span of time that you've been doing this, and all for the inspiration of your son playing football.
Yeah.
That it's like you're basically doing what every parent kind of wishes that they could do for their kid.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing but respect, and absolutely incredible what you're doing.
Thank you. And you know what? The student athletes coming through the program, they end up being like my kids. Like, it's like we spend so much time together. We practice a week to a week and a half before the game. Actually, last year I had my first awards banquet. It was an opportunity for both teams to get together and fellowship together and eat and just have a good time. I will not be able to do that this year with COVID. I don't want to have a super spreader before the game, but
Yeah.
Honestly, they end up being like my other sons. Like we all keep in touch. I actually just hired one of my alumni athletes from last year, Zach Ninekirk. He has his own little graphic design company now, Zoo Graphics, and he's doing all the commitment posts for me. And, it's like, how can I create more time for other things? Well, reach back and find out what the alumni, how they want to help. And, it's like a nice little gig for him, so yeah, and they end up being like family. They're part of the Gunner Sports family now. And I love them so much, and we'll always keep in touch. And, I run into them sometimes in Costco or they message me, what they're doing, telling me what they're doing. I actually had this idea that I wanted to do care packages or something, sending them off care packages at school, but I need to make sure there's no NC2 violation there or whatever. But, I just always want us to keep in touch.
I mean, at that point, you're helping them outside of not just football. It's like you're helping them, with something. Because I mean, especially that's what a lot of, kids, at least that I've talked to and been around, it's kind of getting them to know that football's not the only thing that you can do. If you put your mind towards something else, once you're done with football, you have something to fall back on, and now you're providing that. It's like it's every single aspect, not just football, but life. And
building character, building men of character. It's really true. It's like, and I talk to them about that. Sometimes I'm lecturing, and they probably don't want to hear it, but I'm talking to them about their social media page. That's why I just tweeted, what did I put? I put, don't retweet what you won't repeat. Like, you have to be careful in life. You need to make sure that you are careful about your circle and who you're kind of surrounding yourself with, and what kind of energy you're creating for your own personal environment. And it's the same thing with social media. You shouldn't be retweeting. Number one, you need to find out who you're following and who's following you. And number two, you shouldn't be retweeting anything inappropriate, because it's like you're signing on for it. You're basically saying, I vouch for that. I believe this foolishness that I just retweeted, So it's like, I talk to them about that all the time. When we were their age, there was no social media. Can you imagine can you guys imagine if there would have been social media? Would you guys have been cutting up?
Yes, very much so. I would have been
especially.
You would have been a fool, right?
I would have been a problem.
Yeah.
See? What would you have been talking about?
That bad.
I don't think we should talk about that right now.
Let's just say typical stuff that normal teenage high school kids would probably be thinking.
Yeah. Being from a country town, I would have said a lot of ignorant stuff.
Yes. See, and I know that I would have too, So, and it follows you. You can't just act like it never happened. Like you see, they're able to pull stuff out of the air nowadays, the FCC. So you have to really be careful about, and this is your opportunity to brand yourself. Like I'm talking to them all the time about you're branding yourself, like use it to your advantage, like post some things that are motivational and inspirational to your teammates and to your following. Like show who you are. It's an opportunity to inspire. I'm talking to them all the time about huddle too. Go ahead, Josh.
Real quick, sorry. So it just popped into my head about the whole social media aspect, and I do understand that obviously asking that question to us, we all would have been like, oh, it would not have been good. But how do you, I guess, balance? So obviously you want to watch what you're posting, watch what you're doing, because you want to make it look good to whoever it is that you're getting recruited by, or job, or whatever it may be. But it's just when you talk about how wanting the player to kind of be themselves, how do they kind of balance that? How do they balance manufactured over true self when it comes to social media type of stuff? Because you can post whatever you want on social media, and then you get to actually know somebody in person, and it's a complete black and white picture.
Yes.
It's a manufactured thing to make you look better to get somewhere. So it's kind of like, where is that balance to where you could be able to tell the athlete you can be careful while also being yourself at the same time? Like, how do you? That just popped into my head. I don't know how, because again, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, very impressionable.
Yes.
Whatever's being trending, whatever's going on social media that's blowing up, they're repeating it the next day.
Yes.
Or the next, whatever it is. So it's kind of like, how do you balance, like I said, manufactured from true self?
I think it's about, if a coach saw this post, what would they think about you? How are you selling yourself? So, there are certain things you can say without profanity. Like this just happened to me today, a couple hours before this call. I was following this guy, and one of his posts came up where he's cussing somebody out about, I guess they had some interaction. Maybe they were going back and forth. When I tell you, there was just so much profanity in this post, I couldn't believe it. And he was verbally attacking this guy. It's like maybe they have been going back and forth. I unfollowed him, and I blocked and then unblocked him so that he wouldn't be following me. I don't even want to associate myself with that person now. I don't even know who he was, but I don't even know how we started following each other. But I say all this to say, like, you kind of need to like curb it a little. Like, you don't have to use so much profanity. It says what's going on in your heart. It says what's going on when you're in your heart, the things that come out of your mouth and the things that you type. And I just feel like it's an opportunity for you to, like I said, brand yourself in a different way, have an identity shift. It's like, yeah, you can still be yourself, but do you need to be a nasty person online, but you hit the nail on the head. It's a fine line.
Right, because I mean, you got kids who and it happens to a lot of the best athletes, a lot of the collegiate athletes, stuff like that. They're going through the media and everything looks good, look like all American kid, and then one tweet or one Facebook or one MySpace post or whatever it is from 10 years ago pops up, and now this is how they associate. It's kind of like, I'm sure it's difficult telling a 16-year-old kid to be completely conscious of what it is that you're posting or that you're retweeting or that it's I'm sure there's a lot of things that there's some athletes who have said and done. There are that put out that have come out and said that they're sorry about what they said because they were a kid, and they
Yes.
didn't really know that until they get older. So it's like, how do you how do you get through to these kids, letting them know what you say?
Yeah.
It's
It will come
especially in the
back to
culture we
haunt
live
you.
in now. Especially
Mhm.
in the culture we live in now, it's gonna come back. Like you say, it's
Mhm.
gonna come back to haunt you. So how do you convince a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, hey, I understand you like what you like, but there's going to be some consequences to it. Like, how do you get through to them?
I don't know that I don't know that it's necessarily about getting through. I think it's like one student athlete at a time. Like, it's like all you can do is share your opinion, give a reason why, and see if they embrace it. It's like, and things are going to come up. Like, actually, I had an athlete reach out to me today on Instagram, and he wanted to nominate himself for the game. And but the way he came at me was like, what's up? Y'all ain't checking for me or something. It was just it was the approach. And I understood it. I understood it. I did. I knew what he was saying, but it was a chance for me to say, after he said that, I said, send me your film. However, when you're addressing someone about a business proposition, you need to speak proper English and, address that person appropriately. Like, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. You need to look at what you write. If there are some errors, you need to edit it. And he got it. He was like, I'm so sorry, Miss Jackson. You're right. That's all you can do, is have a teachable moment and hope that they got it. I feel like he got it. It warmed my heart. He apologized. It was a chance for me to kind of help him with that. What if that's not happening at home? That's another thing. It's like, I'm a mentor. I'm a mom. I get to, even though my son is like graduated from college, got himself a job, moved to Texas, he's adulting now. I feel like I still have a role, working with student athletes. It's a chance for me to touch them and kind of still mentor. What if he's not getting that in his own environment? That's what
Right.
I think that's why God put me here. I really do. You go through life trying
Definitely
to
doing
figure
the
out
Lord's
what your
work.
passion is and your purpose. And it's like, this has to be it. I love football. I love helping kids get off to the next level. I love seeing them play in college. I love when they tell me what they're doing. I love seeing that transformation where when I first met them coming into the game and now they're like all mature, it's like such a wonderful thing. Don't make me cry. Gonna mess up my mascara.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing, and I'm sure that's every coach or any person who deals with teaching or coaching young adults.
Mhm.
It's and young kids, for that matter. To be able to see that your work helped them become a better person. I
Yes.
mean, there's really nothing that can really compare to that.
It's
So
priceless, right?
absolutely, absolutely,
And
and
you know what else they talk about is that huddle. You guys didn't have huddle when all three of you excuse me,
I think,
athletes?
yeah, I played until like I said, me and Kay were over at City. He was at Lakeland. I was at Silver Creek High School over there in San Jose. I Matt Six, where did you play ball again?
I was at Valley here in Sacramento with Ray Caruth.
What?
Yep.
Shut up.
Yep.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, you guys didn't have huddle back then, right?
Uh,
No,
I
you
think
guys
at
didn't
the
have
end of my
huddle.
senior year in high school, it was barely becoming a thing. Like just
Okay.
after 2010.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. See, I
Well,
graduated in '93, so it wasn't nothing back then.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
another thing that's important to talk to the kids about is huddle. Like, you know, they have this, you know, they can pull their highlights after each game. And you don't want to have like dirty blocks on there. Like, it's like, you know, sometimes they think it's cool to have a dirty block. No, delete that. You know what I mean? Like, delete the stuff that like kills your brand. Yeah, that's another, anything that is creating visibility for you, you need to monitor. You need to look at it. You need to scrutinize it. You need to fine tune it and make sure that you're selling yourself appropriately. I'm telling you, especially, I mean, now that there's huddle, now that there's social media, you know, it's like you're on that field, the eye in the sky is watching. You better be going game speed. That coach will catch you on that one play where you didn't, like, you know, do anything. What was, there was just a game. Oh, was that the I know we shouldn't talk in too much detail, but listen, there was just a Denver game on the other day.
Yeah,
and
where Teddy Bridgewater let that player just keep going down the field.
I mean,
he damn near gave him a pimp tap as he like ran past. Did you see that?
yeah.
Like,
That was one of the things we talked about after that game.
And it was right on camera. It was right on camera. The eye in the sky is watching. Am I right?
Well, I mean, if you think they're going to miss a few plays, especially at the professional level, like,
Yes.
they're not going to miss anything at a high school level. On professional level, they're not missing anything. You have one camera on you at all times. You definitely have to watch what you do, especially on the field, because like you said, you may be able to put highlights, but they'll find those. Okay, you play like this, but how much of that is 100% of the time?
Yes.
Do you take plays off? Do you know, are there times during a game? Is there games where things aren't going your team's way? How much effort do you put into it? You know, into a losing effort or a winning effort? There's a whole lot of factors that coaches look into, and film gets everything.
I know.
All the time. You always go back and find that one play that the coach would be like, see, if that happened in a crucial situation, we'd be screwed.
Yes.
We can't have that. Yeah, so
they call it loafing, I think. Don't they call it loafing?
My coach called it what we call ourselves now. Don't be a Jaffa on the field. Don't be just another freaking observer on the field. You know, when you're on the field, be a part of the play, get on it. You know, we obviously took that name for comedic purposes, you know, to bring on the show. But yeah, you don't want to be.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it. The acronym for it, yeah. But again, it's just one of those. If you're on the field, you have to be active at all times. You have to be able to show that you have coaches love a high motor on any player at any position. So that's for sure. And something that the kids is at the lower levels, JUCO levels, you know, whatever it is. And when I say lower levels, it just pops in. How do you guys at any point, is there like maybe a branch or maybe even something futuristic at some point, the kids at the middle school level, like you talking kids coming into high school, is there a program that might be in the works that you're basically letting kids know right when they come into high school that as soon as you step on that freshman year, you are being looked at? Yes. From freshman year all the way on. So it's like, are there any programs that you know about or that you may be involved in that could help these incoming high school kids? Hey, this is how it's going to be. Prepare yourself.
I would like to, because it needs to happen. We need to touch them a lot sooner, where we're kind of grooming them already so they know. But I would say the 7-on-7s, they help with that, you know. The 7-on-7s, because they're teaching them, you know, game speed, being on the field. I don't know if they're talking to them about social media and huddle yet, but yeah, that's a great idea, Josh. I definitely always in my mind, I said that it needed to start happening sooner, but How to incorporate that is the question.
I mean, it could, maybe at the coaches level, because I know that they have to have all coaches at every levels now, from high school, or I think even maybe in college, if I'm not mistaken, they have to be certified under. I'm not. I'm blanking on what it's called, but every coach has to be certified to be able to coach.
Yeah.
Now, would there is maybe in that certification, or at least trying to get to because again, the coaches are teaching these kids what they're going to be learning at the next level. And how can we, I mean, to get to the kids, you got to get to the coaches. So is there, I mean, maybe there could be a program that, these coaching conferences that
Yes.
happen all the time, to be able to tell these, especially like the JV and frosh soft coaches, for that level, to be able to tell them, hey, you're, like I said, you're being looked at even now,
Yes.
even though you're not at the varsity level yet, you're
Yes.
still being looked at. You're still being tracked. Your grades from your freshman year all the way to your senior are being looked at and tallied up together. You need to make sure that, so it's just, I think maybe at the Pop Warner levels, I mean, I don't know how early or how late you would begin kind of grooming them for that spot. I mean, I guess as early as possible would be the best thing you can do.
I see there's freshmen getting offers now. So yeah, I think I like you said, middle school, definitely. We don't want to stress them out, but
no,
we want to inform them.
Exactly. So you definitely don't want to put, I mean, but then again, you kind of have to be able to stress them out a little bit to let them know, hey, this is going to be a stressful situation for you. Like, you got to be prepared. There may not be an offer for you just yet. You may have to settle for JUCO. You may have to settle for a D2, D3. It's not just D1, but I think that's really the main focus that you got to nail into these kids' head. It's not just about D1 or bust. If you didn't make D1, that doesn't mean your career is over. It's just getting it into these kids' head from a young age that work hard and you'll get what you earn. It's just a matter of getting it done. Because you see all these professional athletes, they have been busting their ass since they first put on pads.
Yes.
In and out every single, first one in, last one out. And you got to understand that you may be the best player on your team. Doesn't mean you're that player on another team could be outworking you.
Yes.
It's just, it is a stress. Like, as you go on, especially at the next levels, the older you get, the more stressful it becomes. Because then it starts getting from going to a different school to start becoming, all right, this is starting to become a business decision now. This is starting to turn into something that's going to affect my life financially. So it's just finding that fine line. I think that would be really helpful for kids that, obviously you don't want to stress them out too early, but you want to prepare them for the fact that you're going to be dealing with that stress somewhere down the line.
I think that sounds like you might have something going there, Josh.
I mean, okay, don't laugh, Kay. Don't laugh. He's laughing because he knows I'm going to use that against him later on.
See, the thing is, I had the luxury of watching potential Hall of Famers careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, from high school, and then just sitting and watching them on TV from therefore on. So it's like, I kind of saw the process and the grind. And I got friends playing in every avenue. So I kind of saw the process. So anything you can say to me, Josh.
I think it's a great idea. I think you should take it on. And you know what? When you were speaking about it, like, your eyes lit up. So I feel like maybe it's your passion. I'm just saying.
I mean, growing up in Texas, football is, as you probably already know, in Texas, it's borderline religion. If not, it is down there in Texas. So growing up, and I grew up in at least before I moved to San Jose when I was 9, 10 years old, I grew up in a very small town, one high school. They sucked, I think, for 4 years, 5 years or whatever that I can remember. They didn't win a game, yet every single Friday, that stadium was packed.
Yes.
Everybody was there. Stores were closed down. Everybody, their mothers or grandmothers, alumni, whatever, everyone was there. So,
Wow.
then coming to here, it's a little bit different in California, obviously. The way the way football is portrayed here in California, the way it is in Texas. But I've been involved in coaching. I've played the game. I've seen and know what it can do for young men, especially growing. A lot of the greatest friends that I have on this planet, I played football with all. We got to know through real friendships and stuff like that. Because if anything, football taught me more about life than a lot of anything else, of how things are going to be going forward. So being involved in coaching, playing the game, doing this research, I mean, I obviously have a love for the game. So to be able to somehow, get through to a kid, maybe with this show, somebody's watching and kid watches this and watches you and goes, oh man, there's more avenues than I thought. There's more ways, more places that we can, get to have an avenue to get to the next level. So the more we can, I think everybody as a whole, whether starting with us or starting with whoever else, to get to that point, the more kids that we can help, the better off the future is going to be.
Yes.
So it's just better at that point.
Maybe we could revisit this and do like a follow-up show.
Oh, for sure. And this is open show. Every interview, any guest that we have on this show has an open invitation. You want to come on here, you talk about anything it is, whatever projects that you're working on, or anything else it is later on in the future, you are more than welcome to be on this show. Absolutely.
Except the Niners. That's the only thing we can't talk about. We talk about
we don't talk about the Niners.
But I have to run. I'm on a subject.
He's gonna say that and dip, huh? Yeah, Cowboy fan. Leave it to a Cowboy fan. Leave it to a Cowboy.
It was definitely a pleasure. Hopefully we do another show, and I'll have a little more time, and we can talk about these Niners and talk about America's team.
We beat y'all week one. We beat y'all week one.
I just want you to know, we dance on blue stars. Like, have you noticed? Like, we find a blue star and we're dancing on it. I'm just saying.
That's all right. Go ahead and dance.
Was that 1993? Was it 93 when T.O. did that?
Was that 93?
Or was it 96? It wasn't the Super Bowl year for sure.
No,
actually, it might have been 96, 97, like somewhere up in there, because it wasn't a Super Bowl year for the Niners when T.O. did that.
Leslie, I know you're a big Niner fan. Okay.
Yes.
And Mad Six, I love you, bro. We'll talk to you the next show. Don't want you to get in trouble. We'll talk to you soon.
Cowboys still suck though.
So I know you're a Niner fan, and this to kind of get up, let's get into football, because again, we want a little bit more than just, we want people to get to know you, your fandom and everything else like that, how you love the game of football. I am also a 49er fan, but I have been highly pessimistic about this team. There's something about this team right now. Obviously, there's injuries galore. The man below us right here doesn't allow that to be an excuse. That's fine. But looking at this team, I've been very crucial about what's been going on. I've even gone to as far as to saying I think it was probably one of the bigger mistakes to actually trade as much as we did for Lance. I don't think at the number 3 spot, we should be picking a project quarterback. That's just my opinion. And especially giving up future picks that could possibly help us out, and knowing now you're going through a situation where, is it possible that they can make, maybe a 7th seed? Sure. But can you help me be a little bit less pessimistic about the team right now?
Let me just tell you, it's so depressing. I didn't even go to the game the other night. And I actually, after we won, I was like, dang, I should have gone to the game. I'm tired of saying it's a rebuilding. I'm tired of saying we're rebuilding. Tired of that. We're always rebuilding. Have you noticed?
I feel like any team that has gone through a long losing process has had a period of time where it's a rebuilding year. It's a rebuilding year. It's a rebuilding year.
Yeah.
But the thing with us is, can't really say it's a rebuilding year when we were just in the Super Bowl not too long ago. When most of the guys or the core players that are on our team were part of that Super Bowl team.
Okay, yeah, true.
So it's just some of the decisions with Shanahan and Lynch. Again, with this, I still just can't get over the number 3 pick with Lance. I just can't. I haven't seen enough of him, through college. He only played 1 year. Yeah, they went undefeated, cool, but he only played 1 year. And how much of intangibles do you really look into rather than actual game film? Because the guys that were before him, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, all these guys have had extensive college careers, and that has helped them get to the next level. When you've had only 1 year of college experience under your belt, how smart is that to pick a project? A project quarterback at number 3. I don't get it, especially giving up that much. We gave up pretty much the house for him.
Well, I don't know. It's like, why did we pay so much for Garoppolo? I mean, it's like, can we talk about that? I mean, it's like, we're just like,
why did we choose him over Tom Brady?
Tom Brady was an option?
That's who he was talking about, right? When he said, when Tom Brady went on and said that whole thing, he's like, I'm not going to mention the team, but I told them, you're going to choose that mother over me? We were who he was talking about.
Oh, okay. Teacher.
Go ahead,
teacher. Teacher. Oh,
go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, because I've been ragging on you about this for like 3 months now, maybe 4, maybe about a half a year. Oh my gosh, I've been talking about this for so long.
See that look on Leslie's face? Yeah, that tells me even more.
Yes.
She's going, wait a minute.
Tom Brady wanted to go here for so
number 1 option
long. He wanted to go here when he got drafted. He wanted to be here when he had multiple contract offers, but Belichick kept talking him back into going because they had something going there, and that's how they was able to get 6. He wanted to go to the Niners, like Josh said, before he even came to Tampa. The only reason why he came to Tampa is because of our weapons.
And the fact that basically John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan thought, we think Jimmy's better. We're good with Jimmy.
They thought Jimmy was cheaper.
No, they literally
but the whole NFL pretty much had Tom Brady wrote off because he was 40 plus, to be honest with you, except for like Tampa and probably like a couple other teams. Like everybody had Tom Brady wrote off. And then when he went to the Super Bowl with us, then now everybody's back praising him.
The puzzled look.
How can I have Brady? So here's another question. You brought up the draft and all that stuff, Josh. Now seeing Mac Jones and how he's progressed in New England. I used to rag on Josh about this, about getting Mac Jones to the Niners.
They say he's the man. Like, he's like the man.
I can go on record
and I
say
remember,
that I honestly thought Mac Jones was going to be a bust.
I did too, because remember during the the draft. Remember, he was down in that cubicle at the end for like the longest time. I was like, oh my God, poor guy. Like I felt so bad that no one was picking him. Remember?
Just yeah.
I
Again,
knew it. I knew it. I kept telling you, dude. I was like, Mac Jones is the best quarterback for y'all system. He's like, no, we need Justin Fields.
I was going with Justin Fields because I look at it as, one, the league is evolving. You're seeing a lot of quarterbacks now who are able to do it all, that can run and that can throw. I mean, obviously nobody's Lamar Jackson type of, style, but you're seeing a lot more quarterbacks now who are at least, mobile to be able to get out of the pocket, to be able to extend the play. And we're in a division where each one of the teams that we play against has a ridiculously good defensive line. The Seahawks, not as much currently, but the Cardinals and the Rams have insane defensive line. Aaron Donald, Von Miller over there. I mean, yeah, we just beat the Rams because, again, yeah, we beat the Rams, but there's a history there of us on Monday night games. The 49ers have always been pretty good playing on Monday night games, especially against the Rams. So, I mean, I was still, again, very pessimistic because the defense has not been playing great for us. We've lost a lot of guys. We lost Verrett early. We lost a good amount of guys at that DB core that could have helped us be a little bit better. Our defensive line, once again, is in shambles because of injuries. So I'm thinking with who the Rams have on their offense, and I wasn't really, I mean, yeah, you think OBJ is, that's a holy crap, that turns this into a completely different offense, but you do got to realize it's going to take him more than 3 days to be able to understand that offense and to be actually get molded into it. But you still got guys like Cooper Kupp. They did lose Robert Woods, but it's just, there was a lot to the Rams going into that game matchup wise that I looked at it going, we might get torched. It might get really, really bad this game, but it actually got really bad just for the Rams, not for us.
Yeah, really bad.
But then, and I've told Mad Six this before because he's had plenty of 49ers fans talking smack to him because he's obviously a Cowboys fan. I'm saying at this moment, I don't think us Niner fans could be really talking a whole lot of smack to anybody, considering what's been happening. I mean, yeah, we beat the Rams, but let's pump the brakes on, our team's back.
I know. We're
let's
still
relax.
Like, what are we like? How bad is it? Let me see.
But, I mean, thinking of this as a fan, now that you know that we passed on Tom Brady, because, again, you had that look on your face of, it's hard to fathom that you pass on, pretty much the greatest quarterback of all time. When you see stuff like that and you see that it's not necessarily gone as well as we thought it would these next few, the last few years, especially after the Super Bowl loss, how much do you start thinking Country K calls Kyle Shanahan B-Rabbit, from 8 Mile in the beginning, just gets up there and chokes? That's just how it becomes. I keep telling him at the end of that story, it comes back, but it just seems to be a recurring thing for Kyle Shanahan and for John Lynch. So it's like, at this point as a 49er fan, how much rope are you giving him, and how much are you being able to be like, we might need to find somebody else? Has it gotten to that point for you at this point, or is it still like, we'll see?
Ooh, I'm definitely frustrated. I'm tired. I'm tired of losing. We're 4-5. That's not terrible, but this was supposed to be our year. Last year was supposed to be our year too.
And the year before that.
And the year before.
The year before that. The year before that.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about Brady now. So do we know if he would have taken a pay cut to come? Like, did he want to come that bad?
Yeah, I mean, Tom
was-
took a pay cut now for Tampa. That he extended his contract like 2-3 years just to pay Mike Evans. Mike Evans took a pay cut just to pay Chris Godwin. All of them, like Chris Godwin took a franchise tag just so a lot of other players can get paid. That's how we brought back all 22.
Brady basically brought in that culture.
Yeah, he changed the culture completely in Tampa.
Yeah, he did. Would we have got Gronkowski too?
Yeah, you would have got both of them. It would have been a package deal. You would have had Gronk and George Kittle. It would have been nasty. You guys would have been something to really fear.
And AB would have
Nah, so that's probably where the
following
line got
the
drawn, because that came down to coach. BA takes those risks. You know what I'm saying? His whole motto is no risk it, no biscuit. AB's a risk factor versus, you know what I mean? Like, you know, he's a talent, but you also know AB does things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like we should have signed Tom Brady and just gave him whatever he wanted.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the Niners are the Niners. Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford.
For the Rams, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm trying to tell you. We might go back to back. We might. Like, it's a real good chance we might go back to back. Just for the simple fact of Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. Y'all not making the playoffs. And Aaron Rodgers chokes too. So those 4 factors in itself, like, we might go back to back. Like, all of those factors are continuous.
I'm just gonna say it right now, Leslie. I think if he's right and they do go back to back, I would call for the firing of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, because
there's no need to do that, because you didn't do that. You didn't do that when they I mean, it's a whole bunch of things.
I don't even think they can be fired. Like, there was a few times we should have fired them.
Which times? Which time?
Oh God, like a couple years ago. Like, just been bad.
After the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Probably. Yikes. Well, I mean, again, I told people why we lost the Super Bowl, because we stopped running the football. You know, just like the Atlanta Falcons did when they lost and Kyle Shanahan was taking over that team. So, yeah. I mean,
and then y'all hired him as your head coach.
Thanks for.
Can we bring back Mariucci? Rest in peace, Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
He was my favorite. Can we bring back Mariucci?
I'd rather have Mooch. I'd rather have Mooch right now.
I don't know, based on how players interact with coaches, if Mariucci would be the best person. You saw what happened with him and T.O. I don't know if that's because you got more players with a higher personality versus back then. You know what I mean? Like, you had a lot of players like just accepting things, but nowadays it's like they want to control their own destiny. That's what it looks like to me, at least. Like, a lot of players want to control their own destiny, and Mariucci has a more like straightforward approach. You know what I mean? He's not like BA, but he also tends to get under players' skin. That's from what I've seen on different interviews from various players. You know what I mean? Like, seeing them on the sideline. Like, I don't know. I wasn't in the locker room, so I really don't know. I'm just morely going based off of fan watching and stuff.
But, interesting. I mean, at least now we can look at it and learn from our mistakes. And you can now tell people as a CEO or anything else like that if they want to become a GM of a football team or anything, if somebody like Tom Brady wants to be a part of your team, you cut who you got and you sign that guy. You give him whatever he wants. I mean, he's fully under the impression we are going to be cursed.
You already cursed.
I mean,
you already cursed, dog.
It's so bad. Listen, don't give us a hard time. This is sad.
No, for certain. I mean, I just I, I feel
Tired
like
of losing.
I feel like a lot of Niner fans got to rip that Band-Aid off. You're trying to
I've been
pull
trying.
it off.
I've been trying to
Rip it
help.
off.
That's what
Man,
I'm saying.
I
I'm
had
a
Jameis Winston for
49
5
fan.
years. I had Josh Freeman
you.
for 5 years. That's 10 consecutive years of bad quarterback play. You guys can handle 3 years. You guys can handle 3 years. I literally had to watch Jameis Winston average a 7-9 season for 5 years. Josh Freeman had a 11 season. That probably was his average for 5 years. I'm telling you, like, you guys are fine. You got Jimmy G. If you can definitely have Josh, and you can definitely take Jameis, and you would not be in the position you guys are in now.
It's bad.
You should count your blessings. At least y'all got a really good run game. Like, you got things you can, build off on. Mitchell's good because Mitchell's really good.
Debo
Like,
was balling, that's for sure. He was balling.
Debo is pretty much all you guys got for real. But I'm just saying, like, hey man, I'm
giving us enough credit.
I
You're
am
not giving us enough credit.
All right, so
like Kittle's not there at all. Like,
Kittle just bodied. He just bodied Vaughn the other day. He just bodied Vaughn.
Did he?
Back. Yeah,
Can we look at that?
On a run
How
play.
come we're not looking at like highlights and stuff?
Because
there's more to be upset about than there is to be happy about. That's
there it is. There's the answer.
We're trying to figure out why it's been so bad and trying to come up with solutions for it. It's very hard.
Yeah, that Kittle Von Miller play should pop right up for you. Because that's been
sure did. It's the first one.
I'm telling you, George Kittle bodied Von Miller on the run block.
Yep. And he has a tendency of doing that to a lot of linebackers.
Yeah, but Von Miller
done that plenty of times.
He just
that's
got
innate.
He just got there, is really trying to figure it out.
That's also true. But yeah, anyways, Leslie, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, talking a little bit of ball and giving us your story and letting us know, what you've been doing and with the Bay Area Classic and plans on moving forward. Like, I honestly believe, especially what I've heard from you today, what I've seen in my own research and everything else like that, this is something that's going to be within the next 10, 5-10 years. I mean, you being the CEO is you'll probably say, oh, we'll just see how it goes. But for me, I honestly believe that you guys have something that's going to be beneficial to a lot of people, to a lot of kids, to a lot of families. Because there a lot of these kids, this is their outlet to feed their families. There's a lot of kids going through, pretty rough situations that are using this to be able to get themselves out. And this program, I truly, honestly do believe that it's going to turn into something that's going to be beneficial. And all the work that you have done, I appreciate it. I know the kids that you've worked with appreciate it. And I just want to let you know, especially from us, you're always welcome on this show. You're a complete, 100% friend of this show.
Thank you.
And we love what you do. We thank you for what you do, and continue being a complete badass in this world that we call football. And we cannot wait to talk to you again for sure.
Can I invite you all to come out to the game?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Would you actually come?
Yes.
To the Bay Area, absolutely.
Yes.
VIP
when
passes.
Is this?
Oh my God.
15th.
Yes.
January 15th. I would love to have you guys at the game. You can be on the field, whatever you're trying to do. You can even do some interviews while you're here.
We're there.
Definitely there, ma'am. Definitely there.
January, what is it? I'm putting the
15th.
calendar right now.
January 15th,
15th.
MLK weekend, so that Monday's a holiday. It's perfect timing.
It's
perfect timing. Can I just make a couple plugs?
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
wanted to college coaches. I just want to say that the game will be live streamed for your convenience, as it always is. I'll be posting that link on the website. High school coaches, there's still room for you to make your nominations. So please contact me directly. You can DM me on Twitter at Gunner Sportz, Sports with a Z at the end. We would love to have your nominations. Media, we would love to have you there at the game. So DM me as well, and I'll get you some media passes for the day. And if you're interested in being a part of the Gunner Sports team, whether it's recruiting, whether it's if you have an athletic training business that you feel like you can train some of our athletes, we'd love to partner up with you. Social media, we're always looking for social media partners to kind of handle those pages. And last but not least, charitable giving. So I would love to have a company sponsor our pregame meal this year. So right before the game, I love to have the kids break bread together, whether it's sandwiches, whatever that would look like. I'm totally looking for a business that would be willing to sponsor our pregame meal. So contact me. And that's all I have. Thank you so much. Follow us on our webpage, www.gunnersports.com.
Thank you, Leslie. We appreciate the hell out of you. We're going to do this again for sure. Thank you so much for the invite to the game. We are definitely going to 100%. I will find that we will do whatever it is that we can to be there at that game. I promise you we will be there.
I'd love to have you.
Also,
we would love to have you.
Oh, most definitely. Thank you. Also, if your announcer at any point needs a break, this guy here, he literally commentated for the Fury and Tyson
Wilder fight.
Wilder. Fury and Tyson. Yeah, Fury and Wilder. We had a live stream, and he was basically giving the play-by-play because we wasn't trying to get flagged. He didn't show the screen, but he did the play-by-play, and he's really good at it. I've been telling him he's really good at it. Like,
Josh, you're that good?
Yeah, it's just a natural gift.
Stop it. When I was at City,
that's how rumors get started. I'm like, yeah, the guy Josh. Apparently, he's this world-renowned announcer.
Hey,
yeah, world renowned, and then I'm gonna go out being, where do y'all want me? Acting like.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Pat McAfee started as an NFL kicker. Now he's commentating for the WWE. I'm just saying.
What?
I mean, I'm not an NFL kicker, so I
don't.
Josh, I'd love to have you announce
wrestler
at the game if you're free. Seriously, like, don't even. Seriously.
There it is.
I can't say no to that. I can't say no to that. Absolutely. 100%.
Seriously consider it and let me know. I'm not even joking.
I'm 100% down for that. My God, I just did a little bit over at City when I hurt my knee. I did the broadcasting team and did commentating for over the radio for the football team, and kind of that's what grew this, or at least this idea. But I mean, y'all need an announcer for the game. I'm your guy.
I love it. Yay. Awesome.
Oh, yes. Okay. Got you in there. Yes. I mean, I don't give color commentary if you want me to, but I mean, yeah, a little color commentary here and there. I got you, but I mean, I'm not as good as him.
We appreciate it.
Okay, I'm reaching out to you, Josh. I'm coordinating it. So that's you behind the page, huh? I could just send you a message on that?
Yes.
You will even get paid. Can't beat that.
Hey, man.
This is awesome. This is just awesome.
Thank you guys. This has been so much fun. I was feeling a little under the weather. I had like a little runny nose, but I could talk to you guys for hours. This has been awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I'm like, who am I gonna have on here next? Like, I have to tell some people about this show so they can get on here.
You can send coaches, athletes, you can send trainers. We got trainers for you as well. Like Coach Jabari, just Coach Carr, his little brother has a training facility. What? I mean, not facility, but like training program and stuff like that. Yeah. Amari. So when you mentioned that, I was definitely going to tell you. So shout out to Amari. He was one of Josh groomsmen in his wedding.
Yep.
So
wow, I love that, because kids, they want to get bigger, faster, stronger, and it's like I want to be able to partner them with people that are in their area. So let's do it. Maybe they can even have like a free Gunner Sports free consultation or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Leslie, for joining us. Really
and shout out to
appreciate
my
your time.
mentor. Last thing, shout out to one of my mentors, Coach Carter, San Jose State. Thank you
Coach
so much for
Doe.
convincing me. He's like, yes, those are my boys. Yeah, go get on the show. I love them. So shout out to Coach Carter.
We got to get Coach Zoe back on here too.
For
Yes.
sure.
We gotta
For
get him
sure.
back
Yeah.
on. We need that part 2 with him for sure. If you're seeing this, Coach, I got your number. I'm gonna be texting you soon. I'm gonna let you know. We got to get this going.
Yep. Thank you
once
guys
again,
so much.
No, thank
you
you.
for
We
coming on.
appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys have a good night.
We will
Same
talk
to
to
you.
you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys. And then once again, guys, that's fucking awesome. Just absolutely, dude. Like, I don't even know what to say now. Like, I'm literally, holy crap! Did I just get offered to do a commentating job over at this freaking like?
You have to open your mouth. I'm telling you, I was sitting there like, I know Josh is just not gonna let this slide by. You were just sitting there quiet, just being respectful.
Well,
I'm like,
no,
all right, bump
when
this.
when she offered like, you know, for us to go to the game and stuff like that, I thought like sideline stuff. Oh yeah, we can, you know, take videos and stuff on the side. I was thinking we could do something like that. I didn't.
Dude, I was
Actually,
thinking,
because she's talking about streaming the game to other coaches and everything
Yeah.
else. If I'm
that's a lot of
me,
so,
I gotta get
so
better.
that's
at
what I
this.
was saying. That's
I
what I
gotta-
was
I gotta
saying when
practice.
she said VIP. As soon as she said VIP, because I was already thinking it before, like, you know what I'm saying, like possibly he can try to get his way in there, like without going to the game and just talking to her after the episode, possibly. But then when she said VIP being on, I'm like, yeah, I'm saying this, bro. I'm saying this. There's no way Josh is not getting in there, because I was already telling you to talk to Jabari. Dude, that is way larger. That's way larger. Yeah.
This is nuts.
Wedding gift number 2.
Oh man, that interview or conversation. I don't want to know why I say interview. It's always conversations. Don't like to interview people. We like to talk with them. That was brought to you by Raise Energy. You guys already know, the best energy drink on the planet, helping sponsor this show from the very beginning. You guys know where to go. Repsportz.com, REPP sports.com, and use the promo code Alpha Raise to get 15% off of your order. The berries and cream limited time version of the energy drink is out right now, and it's gonna be gone very soon. But there's another mystery flavor coming out very soon as well. They're popping out these limited edition drinks like like it's popcorn at this point. It's every 2-3 weeks they're dropping out another flavor. So be on the lookout for that. Once again, repsportz.com. Use the promo code Alpha Raise for 15% off. Thank you, Raise, for sponsoring this show. And again, that having a conversation with her, that was awesome, because again, what she's doing for the community, what she's doing for the kids, what she's doing for basically for everybody, all on the, I did this for my son, let me try and help. She wasn't selfish about it at all. She went basically, if I can help do this for my son, let me go and help do this for someone else's son. Or, so that absolutely 100%. That
should be a movie. This should be a movie. Like we have sat here and had conversations with so many people that their story needs to be a movie. Like the craziest way, even Mastic's. I mean, we had a smaller discussion. Mastic's story should be a movie. You know what I mean? Like Leslie, her story should be a movie for sure. Like that. Yeah. That sounds like, all right, so stay with me. Do you remember that movie where the guy basically had the last vote to decide the president election? It was probably like 10 years ago at this point. Swing vote. It's almost like that, splash with like what's the movie with Ice Cube was the coach and Keke Palmer was the girl quarterback, The Long Shots. It's almost like a blend between that. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're doing the right thing, you finding the research and stuff like that, like researching stuff, but then you're doing like you're creating something. Nah, it's not at all. Those are two blends. Those are two bad movies. Now I'm talking it out loud. That was terrible. I apologize. That was terrible.
But I mean, but none, like honestly though, like her story should be a movie. Coach Zoe should be a movie. Master should be a movie. Like Chris, I think has potential to probably even be a movie.
Who, Rainey?
Yeah.
Oh my God, let me write that one. Oh, I watched that one. I had a backseat pass to that one. I wasn't involved in all that, but I watched it from a distance. Jabari for sure.
Story. It just the people we've talked to on this show has been nothing short of awesome. It's been really a blessing to be able to talk to everybody and get their stories and just be able to talk to them. You know, again, you know, like Leslie said, she could sit here for however long and talk with us, and that's the goal of this show. You know, we want all of our guests to feel comfortable. We want everyone to feel like they can just be themselves, you know, and, you know, everything else like that. So, and one of these days, once the studio and everything's done, we'll start having in-house guests, you know, and stuff like that. And that'll be even better. So, but yeah, it's been really cool to be able to talk with, you know, these amazing people that should seriously have their story out. And although we may be, you know, a little bit of a smaller platform right now, I mean, I still think that we can be able to at least get some of the word out, because step by step, little by little, things will come into play. And if we continue to speak on it and put it out into the world and everything like that, it's going to happen. So that's why I tell her, I was like, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really do think that this All-Star game is going to turn into something huge. It's like, just not even like, there's no real discussion. It's going to be something incredible.
I would tell you what it's going to lead to, but the vision I have might be a little too far for the guests. I mean, not the guests, but the fans. It might be a little too far for the fans. I feel like you will understand it, which we probably should have like a messenger call later, like after this show or whatever. But like, I definitely feel like we're on the right path. And it looks like 2022 is finna be a hell of a ski slope. It's gonna be a hell of a ski slope, bro.
It's gonna be. I mean, shit. We're basically starting off the year with the high school game, to be able to being on the sidelines talking to someone. Well, we could possibly be talking to future NFL superstars on this field,
bro.
You know, there's the potential of everything that goes into this. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I'm going to be honest with you, throughout this, I was not expecting her to say, oh yeah, VIP passes come to the game. Oh yeah, we can have you announce it. Hell no, did I think that was going to happen.
Bro, I'm telling you, you got to shoot for the moon. When she give you one door, when a person gives you one door, only thing they can do is say no, or we got somebody in line. Like we're set up. So, I mean, I figure, what the hell? What the hell? Let's get in there. She's saying we can interview people, VIP passes. Why not? Shoot for the moon, bro. Shoot for the moon. And you got what? A month now? A month and a half? Actually, 2 months, because today's the 17th. So just say 2 months. Yeah. You need to soak this in.
I need to polish the game. I need to start having like,
just commentate random stuff. Like when you watching TV, or just commentating games, like tomorrow, Thursday night game, mute the TV and just commentate the games. Record yourself commentating the game, and that way you can critique yourself. And that way you can, I mean, you got recording You got a recording device, but you're using YouTube TV, but I'm not really sure. Can you record the games on that? Because if you could,
basically what I'm thinking about it right now is even if I had it muted, I wouldn't be able to have it visually on TV. I wouldn't be able to have it because
no, I'm saying
I was actually thinking doing it on Spaces on Twitter, or
no, I'm not
doing it.
saying for the fans. I'm saying for you to critique yourself. So it's just more. That's why I was asking about, can your TV record the game? That way you can see yourself, and then you can see Chris Collingsworth. You know what I'm saying? You can compare and contrast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're able to use, hey, they're at the professional level. This is how they commentate. This is where I'm at starting out, and this is how I commentate. You don't have to take what they have, but you can understand the concepts. You can understand the practices. You can understand the transitions. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that.
I'm gonna have. Oh man, it's for a high school game too. That's supposed to be.
All right.
If she means announce, so see, now I'm thinking, like, when she says announce, does she mean like announcing the game commentary on the stream, or is it like just announcing the play after, like on the field, like, oh, tackle was made by number 52, or tackle was made by.
Do not overthink this. Do not overthink this at all. Don't overthink it. Just be happy that you're already in the door. Because if you overthink it, you'd be like,
I can't cuss at all.
No, that's why I try my best not to cuss on this episode. You know, I got the most funniest mouth.
I had told her before, that we do cuss on the show and stuff like that. But I was myself. I was also trying to, hold it back, a little bit.
Texas. You're from Texas, so I mean, you guys care a lot less about a lot of things.
A little loose in the fucking mouth. I mean, that's just.
What?
Just a little bit.
Loose on the fucking mouth. Whoa! My man said he made me think it was gonna be a little water gun. This man came out with an MK and just started just wrecking shop.
Just loose at that. Fucking.
Hey, no, but all seriousness to the side. You and Amari, you guys owe me like a dinner or some shit. You guys didn't hear that. I said all seriousness to the side.
It's like, all right. So,
no, seriously.
I mean, man, that's wild. Yeah. That's an awesome offer and an amazing opportunity. Oh yeah. For everything. That's gonna be just
that boosts the popularity of the podcast, regardless wherever we're at, even if we're just interviewing the kids, you know what I'm saying? So interviewing the coaches, interviewing anybody, the scouts will be able to see you. And potentially, because it's in the Bay Area, San Jose State might be there and they'll hear you or see you and be like, we need you guys. You said the Pinedo Bros Productions, we need you guys.
We need you guys to talk about
for us. Yeah, talk for us, liven up the whole scene, you know what I mean? Especially, energy and stuff. That's more what it's about. Engagement and energy, man. You know what I mean? All us can't be Tony Romo and just call out the play before it happens. You know what I'm saying? So we got to bring a different aspect to the game. And yeah, man. I told you that's right down your alley, bro. When you did that fight, I told you that's right down your alley. Yeah.
That's wild. Wow, yeah. This was wild.
Yeah, that little pause you do in the beginning, that's game commentary right there, bro.
Man, we'll see. I mean, again, dude, my mind's racing right now. My fucking ADHD is going nuts.
All right, it's all good. I'll end the show and let's get on Messenger right after. So look, hey guys, like Josh said, this episode has been sponsored by Raise Energy. We'd like to also thank Leslie Jackson, Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I didn't even think about that until now. What the fuck?
I had it in my head, but I was like, how many times have she heard that joke?
Oh my God.
I
All
was
through
like,
the 2000s, the 90s. I mean, no, I'm sorry. All through the 2000s, 2010s, and it probably just
I was
died
just
off.
like, I'm not gonna do this cliche ass joke with her. It's an obvious punchline joke to make that it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, come on, we knew
I
you
mean,
were
it's at this point, it might be a good vintage joke, you know, because it's, you know, they have not rapped together in a while. But
I mean, I was gonna say there's nothing to really apologize for, but I could have been like, oh no, there was something to apologize for because she was stuck on when I said that, you know,
Tom
Brady's
Brady?
number one.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
she was like, wait, hold on.
Yo, so that lets me further know she has not watched the Brady 6 when he won his third ring. The Brady 6, they were talking about it. Hey, to be honest with you, we all were a lot hard on Odell Beckham and his dad, because Tom Brady's dad has been talking mad money from day one, and nobody has said nothing. So I apologize, OBJ, because I ain't really say too much, but I apologize for all of us, and I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. If you're on Spotify, if you're tuning in on whatever streaming platform like YouTube, if you're watching this, thank you guys for tuning in on the live cast. Again, thank you, Miss Jackson, for coming on again. For myself, Country K, for JP, and for Mad Six, who had to get back to work. Oh yeah, update, guys. He didn't break his arm. So yeah, Mad Six did not break his arm. So yeah,
he's good.
He's good.
He's good.
So
he's going to be able to compete in January still, I think.
Yeah, we're all good in that department. We're all systems go for him. But yeah, man, thank you guys. We'll be back on Sunday, right? You're off Sunday, right?
Yep.
All right,
Sunday, cool. Yes, sir. We'll be back.
So we'll be back on Sunday at 6 p.m. And I will like to say aloha to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in the Coach Niche Zoom room. And peace.
Deuces. See y'all later.